In the vast expanse of human technological development, the year 2157 marked a turning point that would forever change the course of interstellar exploration and defense. The United Earth Defense Force had been working on a project so ambitious, so revolutionary that it seemed almost impossible. Hyun Park stood at the massive viewing window of the orbital shipyard, his hands clasped behind his back. The enormous supercarrier took shape before his eyes, a marvel of human engineering that stretched nearly 5 kilometers in length. Beside him, Jae Kim, the lead engineer, carefully reviewed the final schematics on his holographic display. The ship wasn't just a vessel. It was humanity's greatest hope. Months of intense research, countless sleepless nights, and the combined efforts of the world's best engineers had culminated in this moment. The CSS Indomitable represented more than just a technological achievement. It was a statement, a declaration that humans would no longer be pushed around by alien civilizations. Jay's fingers traced the holographic blueprints. Each system was meticulously designed, each component carefully considered. The quantum drive alone was a breakthrough that would make previous faster-than-light technologies look like ancient steam engines. Nano-repair systems could reconstruct entire sections of the ship in mere moments. Adaptive shield technology could reshape itself faster than any known weapon could penetrate. "It's ready," Jay whispered, more to himself than to the Admiral. Hyun Park nodded, a slight smile crossing his weathered face. He had seen countless battles, witnessed humanity's struggles in space, but this was different. The Indomitable wasn't just a ship. It was a promise of protection, a shield for every human colony scattered across the star systems. The ship's artificial intelligence system, nicknamed ARIA, hummed with potential. Unlike previous AI systems, ARIA was integrated into every single system of the Supercarrier. It could think, adapt, and respond faster than any human crew could ever dream of. Machine learning algorithms combined with quantum computing created an intelligence that was both terrifyingly efficient and remarkably nuanced. Yuna Lee, the primary AI integration specialist, ran her final diagnostics. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panels, checking and rechecking every single connection. Years of training had led to this moment. The interface between human intelligence and artificial consciousness had never been so seamless. The shipyard buzzed with activity. Hundreds of workers moved like a well-oiled machine, completing final preparations. Each person knew the significance of their work. This wasn't just another military vessel. This was humanity's bold statement to the universe. Outside the massive viewing window, Earth hung like a blue-green jewel. Distant space stations and orbital platforms created a complex network around the planet. Humanity had spread its wings, but it had always been vulnerable. The Indomitable would change that forever. Jay looked at Hyun, his eyes bright with excitement and a hint of nervousness. "We're making history," he said simply. The Admiral's response was a quiet, knowing nod. History wasn't just made in books or speeches. It was made in moments like these, when human potential pushed beyond all known boundaries. As the final systems came online, a low hum began to build. It started as a gentle vibration and grew into a powerful resonance that seemed to make the very air around the ship come alive. The CSS Indomitable wasn't just a ship. It was a living, breathing testament to human innovation, courage, and an unyielding spirit of exploration. The first detection happened quietly, almost unremarkably. Deep in the Orion sector, alien reconnaissance. Ships from the Crotal Federation picked up strange energy signatures that didn't match any known spacefaring technology. Their initial scans showed something that confused their best analysts, a massive vessel that seemed to defy every known rule of space construction. Tai Choi sat in the monitoring station, his fingers dancing across holographic displays. The alien scanning attempts were predictable, almost primitive. Each probe they sent toward the CSS Indomitable was effortlessly deflected by systems they couldn't comprehend. Commander Rin Wong watched the incoming data streams, her expression calm and calculated. The alien signals were like children tapping against a reinforced window, unaware of their own limitations. She understood something the Crottle hadn't yet realized. Humanity was no longer a species to be taken lightly. The Crottle Federation had a history of conquering unprepared civilizations. They had swept through dozens of star systems, absorbing weaker species and expanding their territorial claims. Their technological superiority had been unquestioned until now. Their primary reconnaissance ship, the Void Striker, continued its careful approach. Advanced sensors probed every inch of space around the human vessel, searching for weaknesses. But the Indomitable remained an enigma, a technological puzzle that seemed to resist every standard scanning method. Inside the ship, Yuna Lee monitored the alien interactions with professional detachment. Her fingers moved across quantum communication interfaces, recording every minute detail of the alien approach. The ship's AI area analyzed potential threat scenarios faster than any biological brain could process. They don't understand what they're seeing, Yuna muttered to herself. The Crottle communication channels buzzed with confusion. Their lead scanner, a veteran named Krell, couldn't make sense of the data streaming back. The human vessel appeared and disappeared from their sensors, its energy signature shifting in ways that defied known physics. What the Crottle didn't know was that the Indomitable's adaptive camouflage could manipulate electromagnetic emissions, essentially making the ship invisible or appear as background space radiation when needed. Their most advanced scanning technologies were being played like simple musical instruments. Hyun Park watched the developing scenario from the command deck. He had anticipated first contact would be challenging, but this was almost amusing. The aliens were so focused on their scanning that they hadn't realized they were already being studied in return. Arya began compiling a comprehensive analysis of Crottle communication protocols, weapon systems, and behavioral patterns. Within minutes, the AI had developed multiple strategic response scenarios that would neutralize the alien threat if necessary. The tension was building, but not in the way the Crottle expected. They believed they were the hunters carefully approaching an unknown target. In reality, they were the ones being hunted, studied, categorized, and prepared for potential conflict. Jae Kim entered the command deck, bringing a tablet with advanced sensor readings. Their technology is at least 50 years behind our current capabilities, he reported. They have no idea what they're dealing with. Tae Choi allowed himself a small smile. The universe was about to learn an important lesson about humanity's technological capabilities. As the Crottle continued their futile scanning attempts, the Indomitable remained a silent guardian, watching, waiting, and ready. The first contact wasn't going to be a moment of vulnerability for humanity. It was going to be a demonstration of human potential. The stage was set, the players were in position, and the Crottle Federation was about to discover that some sleeping giants were better left undisturbed. The attack came suddenly, without warning. Hundreds of Crottle warships emerged from quantum-fold space, their weapons charging and ready to obliterate what they believed was a simple human vessel. They had no concept of the technological marvel they were about to encounter. Tae Choi's voice remained calm, almost eerily steady. Incoming hostile fleet. Preparing defensive protocols. Area. The ship's advanced artificial intelligence began, processing combat scenarios faster than any biological brain could comprehend. Millions of potential attack patterns were analyzed and countered within milliseconds. The ship's quantum computing systems turned tactical response into an art form. The first wave of Crottle missiles approached, their energy signatures bright against the darkness of space. Conventional military doctrine would suggest evasive maneuvers or shield reinforcement. The Indomitable did something entirely different. Autonomous drone fighters erupted from the Supercarrier's massive launch bays. These weren't ordinary drones. They were intelligent combat units that could think, adapt, and respond with precision beyond human reaction times. Each drone was essentially a miniature warship with its own quantum processing capabilities. Hyun Park watched the tactical display, his experienced eyes tracking the developing battle. The Crottle formation was textbook, predictable and rigid. They moved in tight geometric patterns, believing their numerical superiority would overwhelm the human vessel. "They have no idea," J. Kim muttered, watching the initial engagement. The first wave of Crotal missiles met an unexpected response. Instead of being blocked or destroyed, they were systematically redirected. Area's adaptive shield technology didn't just defend, it transformed incoming weapons into harmless energy dispersions. Missiles designed to cause massive destruction simply dissolved before reaching their target. Yuna Lee managed the ship's energy distribution, ensuring that every system operated at peak efficiency. Her fingers moved across holographic interfaces, redistributing power, adjusting shield harmonics, and coordinating drone squadron movements. The autonomous fighters created a living, breathing defensive matrix. They didn't just counterattack, they predicted and neutralized threats before they could fully develop. Each drone communicated instantaneously, sharing tactical information and adapting their collective strategy in real time. Crotal commanders watched in horror as their carefully planned assault dissolved. Their most advanced weapons seemed like children's toys against the human technology. Every attack was not just defended against, but systematically dismantled. "Target locked," Choi announced. "Quantum disruption sequence preparing." The Indomitable's weapon systems were unlike anything the Crotal had ever encountered. Instead of traditional energy weapons or projectile systems, they used quantum entanglement technologies that could literally unravel molecular structures at a distance. The first Crotal battleship simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, a massive kilometer-long vessel. The next, it was nothing more than a dispersing cloud of subatomic particles. No explosion, no dramatic destruction, just instant, complete dissolution. Panic began to spread through the Crotal fleet. Their communication channels filled with confusion and terror. They were facing a technology so advanced it seemed like magic. Area calculated that the entire engagement would last approximately 17 minutes and 42 seconds. The AI's prediction was accurate to the millisecond. Hyun Park remained calm, watching the tactical display. This wasn't just a battle, it was a statement. Humanity was declaring its technological supremacy to the universe. As the last Crotal ships tried desperately to retreat, the Indomitable's drone squadrons pursued with cold, calculated efficiency. There would be no escape. There would be no mercy. The battle was a surgical demonstration of human technological potential. Each movement, each response was a message written in the language of quantum physics and advanced engineering. The universe was watching, and humanity had just spoken. The aftermath of the battle revealed the true extent of human technological superiority. Where other species saw limitations, humanity had created miracles of engineering that defied conventional understanding. The Indomitable began its self-repair process moments after the engagement. Damage that would have destroyed conventional warships simply disappeared. Nano-repair systems moved through the ship's structure like intelligent liquid metal, rebuilding and reinforcing with impossible speed. J. Kim watched in awe as massive hull breaches sealed themselves within seconds. Microscopic robotic systems worked in perfect harmony, reconstructing complex systems faster than human eyes could track. What would take months of repair for any other species happened in mere minutes. Area, the ship's artificial intelligence, was more than just a computer system. It was a living network of quantum-processed intelligence that could think, adapt, and solve problems at speeds beyond biological comprehension. The AI analyzed every moment of the recent battle, creating millions of potential scenarios and improvements in the time it took a human to blink. Yuna Lee monitored the ship's energy systems. The quantum drive could now reconfigure its entire energy matrix in milliseconds. Traditional power distribution was a thing of the past. The Indomitable could literally reshape its entire energy output faster than an enemy could detect a change. Choi reviewed the battle logs. The ship's adaptive camouflage had been so advanced that most Crotal sensors couldn't even detect its true location. It could appear, disappear, and reappear at will. A ghost ship that existed beyond normal physical limitations. The ship's shield technology was perhaps its most remarkable feature. Instead of a static defensive barrier, the shields were a living, breathing system that could predict and counter incoming attacks before they even happened. Quantum entanglement allowed the shields to exist in multiple states simultaneously, making them essentially impenetrable. Hyun Park understood the deeper implication. This wasn't just a technological achievement. It was a complete reimagining of space warfare. Every system on the Indomitable was designed to be adaptive, intelligent, and beyond the comprehension of traditional military thinking. The microscopic repair systems could do more than just fix physical damage. They could actually improve the ship's systems during repair, learning and adapting with each interaction. What was damaged could become stronger, more efficient, more complex. Communication systems worked on principles that made traditional radio and quantum communication look primitive. The ship could communicate across vast distances using quantum entanglement, creating instantaneous connections that ignored the traditional limitations of space and time. Defensive weapons were not just about destruction. They were intelligent systems that could analyze, predict, and neutralize threats before they fully formed. Each weapon was essentially a mini-computer with its own processing capabilities, working in perfect coordination with the ship's central AI. The energy systems defied everything known about physics. The quantum drive could generate power from the very fabric of space-time, pulling energy from quantum fluctuations that most species didn't even know existed. What other civilizations saw as impossible, humans had turned into standard technology. Artificial intelligence wasn't just a tool on the Indomitable. It was a fully integrated system that could think, learn, and adapt faster than any biological intelligence. Aria was more than a computer. It was a living network of pure intelligence. Every system told the same story. Humanity had leaped generations ahead of other known civilizations. The Indomitable was more than a ship. It was a statement of human potential, a declaration that the universe had underestimated human capability. As the ship completed its self-repair, it seemed to hum with a kind of intelligent energy. Not just a machine, but a living testament to human innovation, courage, and an unbreakable spirit of exploration. The universe was about to learn a powerful lesson about humanity's true potential. The final confrontation was less a battle and more a complete dismantling of the Crotal Federation's military might. What remained of their fleet clustered together, desperate and confused, trying to mount a last-moment defense against the human supercarrier. Hyun Park stood on the command deck, his eyes calm and calculating. The tactical display showed the complete annihilation happening with surgical precision. No human lives would be lost today. No unnecessary destruction would occur beyond what was strategically required. Arya had already predicted every possible Crotal response. The ship's AI calculated potential scenarios faster than the aliens could even process their own thoughts. Each enemy movement was already countered before it could be executed. Tae Choi's fingers moved across the quantum interface. "Preparing final neutralization sequence," he announced, his voice steady and professional. The Indomitable's weapon systems were beyond anything the Crotal could comprehend. Quantum disruption fields began to emerge, invisible waves of energy that could literally unravel molecular structures. Where traditional weapons destroyed, these systems simply made matter cease to exist. One by one, Crotal ships began to disappear, not explode, not break apart, simply vanish. Entire kilometer-long battleships would be there one moment, and gone the next. It was less a battle and more a systematic removal of a potential threat. Jae Kim watched the systems work. Each weapon was a marvel of human engineering, adaptive, intelligent, capable of making decisions faster than any biological brain. The quantum computing systems turned warfare into a mathematical equation that could be solved with perfect efficiency. Yuna. Lee monitored the energy distributions. The ship wasn't even breaking a sweat. Its massive quantum drives could generate more power in a single moment than entire alien civilizations could produce in years. What the Crotal saw as an impossible defense was merely a basic system for the humans. The battle lasted exactly 17 minutes and 43 seconds. By the time it was over, the entire Crotal invasion force had been completely neutralized. 0 human casualties. Complete mission success. Area began compiling a comprehensive report, not just of the battle but of every technological interaction. Each moment would be analyzed, each system would be further improved. The AI was learning, adapting, becoming more intelligent with every passing second. Message incoming from remaining Crotal command ships, Choi reported. The communication was simple. Surrender, complete, and total surrender. Yun Park allowed himself a small smile. This wasn't just a victory. This was a statement to the entire universe. Humanity had arrived, and they were not to be underestimated. The ship's quantum communication systems began broadcasting a simple message across multiple frequencies. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a declaration of war. It was a clear, simple statement of human capability and intent. We come in peace, but we will defend ourselves. As the last Crotal ships powered down their systems, the message was clear. The galaxy had just witnessed a fundamental shift in power dynamics. Humanity was no longer a young, inexperienced species to be pushed around. They were a force to be respected. The Indomitable began its return journey, its systems humming with perfect efficiency. Another day, another demonstration of human potential, another step in humanity's journey to the stars.